Southwest Florida Sharks versus the Fort Lauderdale Lions. This is a rematch of the 2025 championship. A lot on the line. The Lions took it personally. The Sharks are looking to come back. Let's see it happen. All right, and they're off. Nick Shappy, who's actually dealing with a hip injury for the Sharks, and that's Eric Cardona for the Lions. They're starting off with those overhead squats.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Nick Shappy is one of the leaders in last year's MVP. He is coming off of, he is dealing with a hip injury, but he does a lot of the squats and arguably some of the fastest squats in the league here. So I saw him already grimacing a little bit with the dumbbell overhead squat. So I'm going to be focused on seeing how does that affect him over the weekend.
Definitely. They are onto the burpee box jump. 24 inches for the men, 20 inches for the women, and Janine Nicole is already on that box, as well as Valerie Gunning on the Southwest Florida Sharks. Janine Nicole, of course, being one of the fastest in the grid, all of those burpees. So she did those no time, making up some time. Eric Cardona is about 1 or 2 reps ahead of the Sharks here going into this next one as well.
Eric and Janine are some of the fastest people in that first 2 quadrants. So Janine was a little bit shaky at the beginning, but now she got it. But once she gets to the burpee box jump overs, there's hardly anybody that can beat her on there.
That's right, and it was given up to the Sharks a little bit on the lead into the box jumps, but it looks like Eric Cardona is making up that time plenty. The last rep, and that is going to bring out Janine Nicole. Just as I said, she's just a hair ahead of Valerie Gunning. Everybody on the grid is very high level, championship caliber teams. Important to note that going into this. And this is going to show how well the communication has gotten. Lions with a slight lead. They are the first back out to the grid, and that's going to bring out Marcos Medina and Megan Medeiros, 2 illiterate M's for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and for the Sharks, that's David Blatt. And we continue with Valerie Gunning here.
This is actually very interesting to see. David Blatt is actually the Sharks body weight specialist and a body weight MVP himself. He is going to be closing it out for the Sharks, handling the heaviest weights and the highest boxes, and he's one of the shortest athletes out there. So that's pretty cool to see.
Right, this is on the top range of dumbbell weights that we have here on the grid, and he's going to be doing it as a bodyweight specialist. Extremely impressive, as well as Megan Medeiros, who's a very good gymnast, but is also extremely strong key utility player. Marcos Medina and Megan Medeiros, knowing that they can take their time here, but not too much time. Megan Medeiros faulting out on that first rep. Now they're going to have to hurry. She's struggling a little bit on that first rep. She has 2 to go. That was a good first rep. She has 1 more remaining. Valerie Gunning, this is her bread and butter when it comes to the dumbbells. But if Lions were able to keep it, as long as they can get through these box jumps together quickly, they have this partner forward. Valerie Gunning finishing off David Blatt. Oh, that's a fault for David Blatt, and that looked like it hurt on that.
My gosh, that was, if you all don't understand how tough that is, that last quadrant for the women is 2 pairs of 50 pounds, and the men have to perform 2 pairs with 70 pounds overhead, and that height for the men is 38 inches and 34 inches for the women. So to see them struggle with that, that is tough. And I know even talking to the Lions, this was one area where they wasn't sure they were going to be able to finish, but Megan was one of the few people on the team that actually had the capacity and ability to do this. To see them come out and sneak out a win with this, I know they got to be feeling good with that start.
That was really cool how Marcos almost told her, like, slow down. You like, we're ahead, and you have to get through those reps, because it's almost like she really needed that too. So that was an interesting turn of events there. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about these teams together.
All right, so for the Sharks, waiting for my screen to come up. All right, we already mentioned him. I'm going to be looking out for last year's MVP, Nick Shappy. Of course, he's going to be dealing with his hip injury, so we're going to see how much, if anything, if that's going to be limiting him. And then I'm also going to be looking at Blake Kidder. It's good to see my guy back on the grid. He is going to bring some much-needed strength to the Sharks to help them get through here. And then also we are going to have our eyes on Kyra Milligan. So mentioning she's a CrossFit Games athlete, very talented, very versatile and athletic, but this is her first time being exposed to the Grid League, so it's going to be fun to watch her all day.
Definitely. It's a good one. It's a strong one, and we're excited to see her make her grid debut here. Blake Kidder, of course, making his return is going to be huge. Not only that, but a morale boost for the team.
Yep.
The energy that he brings is you unprecedented. Like, you can't even make that up. So
very high energy.
Yeah, definitely very important for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
All right. For the Lions, I am going to be looking from France herself, Alexia Perez Mivieri, thank you. I actually had the opportunity to hang out with her yesterday. She's a very strong and explosive athlete straight out of France. So this is her rookie appearance here. I think she's going to be turning some heads here, but I also have the opportunity to get stronger there. I'm also going to be looking out for my fiancée, Janine Nicole.
Yeah.
So this is the home time favorite for her. So she got a lot of family in France, and she's going to be doing a lot of work on the front end. And then also we just saw Megan of Club Maderos close it out. So she has a lot of work in this match here. So, and she's also going to be doing a ringer point. So seeing her capacity throughout the match is going to be great.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see that mirror race, and we'll be right back.
Match always features a barbell element. A male and a female barbell are placed in the first quadrant. Upon the start of the race, both are picked up by the team in any fashion by the 3 men and 3 women allowed in the race at any given time. Once the barbell leaves the ground, it may not touch the ground again until all reps are complete. If it does, the entire team must return to the start line before continuing. A set number of reps must be completed by both genders in each quadrant before the team can move on. Non-lifting players will act as the human rack to support the barbells as the team moves from quadrant to quadrant and switches performing players in the process as needed. Substitutions may happen at any time. Time stops when all reps are complete and the last player crosses the finish line. This strength-focused race has the most players on the grid at the same time and requires effective planning and practice to be executed well through coordination amongst players. Remember, don't drop the barbell in the mirror race.
This is what you can look forward to in the mirror.
All right, we have the shoulder overhead. The men's weight is going to be 215 pounds. Women's weight, 140 pounds. Each team will have to perform 10 reps, but they going across the grid, but they cannot move into the next quadrant until both athletes have completed 10 reps.
That's right. We're looking at those game faces facing each other, men and women going to have to do this. And we're off. It's going to be Marcos Medina and Alexia Perez Mivieri for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. For the Sharks, it's going to be Sedona Townsend and Derek Anderson. Now, this is going to be a really fast one, and it looks like they're just about rep for rep going into the second quadrant. This might be a photo finish, Taylor, barring any mistakes, but it looks like Breezy Lanes did get started on that before the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Slight lead here for the Sharks going into this one, and it is a tough one considering the depth of roster and strength that both of these teams have.
And I'm going to be looking at this third quadrant right here because you're only as good as your slowest athlete right here. And I've seen a lot of athletes really turn for the best in that third quadrant. So the Lions have some making up to do because the Sharks look pretty strong right now. I think it's definitely going to come down to that fourth quadrant.
Definitely going into that fourth quadrant at the very same time, but the Sharks have kind of been starting their reps a little bit ahead of the Lions. It's going to come down to this and who finishes first. Hands are up in the air for both teams. Hands up in the air for the Lions. Hands up in the air for the Sharks. They have to hold it. Oh, and the Lions take it out last second. Wow, that is a Lions win for the mirror race.
That is huge. That is huge. The rookie, Alexia, did 2 quadrants, the first and the fourth. And I remember I worked with her a little bit yesterday about holding that bar and making sure that she's completing the reps to standard there. So it's awesome to see her take her time and complete it. But shout out to Sedona. You typically don't see Sedona at the end on the Sharks closing out on the other end, on the other side. So
we got a little turnover chain on Alexia Perez Mivieri, and she was the really difference maker for that one. That was so fun to watch.
Let's go, rookie.
I loved every second of it. We're getting ready for a ringer point race, but speaking of ringer point race, while we bring up the options, let me talk to you about something. You, right now, at home, have the ability to change the outcome of this match. Yes, you heard me correctly. If you go to unitedgridleague.com/vote, you get to vote for which ringer point you want to see, and that can affect the outcome of a match and who wins the match.
Oh my gosh, we've already seen it all throughout the season already that you fans are hurting or helping some teams.
That's right.
So you're definitely kind of in a very important part of deciding these teams' fate.
Absolutely. So go ahead and vote right now. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and see the options. Right now, we are about to see the handstand walk for 2 quadrants and the clean and jerk. We saw this earlier. It was exciting. It was a nail biter. They were diving into the end zone. For a lack of better word to say it, that's what you have to do for this one, because it is a photo finish, specialist versus specialist. That is what a ringer point is. Now, we are doing, this one right now, but you have the option to do any of these for your fan-voted ringer. The muscle-ups, the tall wall balls, the clean and jerks, and the farmer carry.
Yep.
So those are your options, unitedgridleague.com/vote, and you get to have an option. Right now, we're about to see Jesse Coleman versus Taylor Sturgis. Taylor Sturgis, of course, being a huge personality on the Grid League and for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. He likes to talk that talk, and he can back it up. But this is going to be an interesting one because Jesse Coleman, she is really strong at this ringer point race.
This is her ringer point to lose. So she is undefeated here. She is very, very good on her hands, but she's also extremely strong. So Taylor Sturgis, he's pretty good on his hands as well too, but he's going to have to make sure that when he gets to that bar, there's no hesitation, because Jesse is definitely not going to hesitate. So he has to pick it up and punch it over his head and get to that finish line before Jesse.
That's right, and for a Fort Lauderdale team, the Fort Lauderdale Lions fans are here in New Jersey representing American Dream New Jersey. 1 minute until the start of the show, but we have the entire American Dream staring down at us right now, and they are like, what is this? First of all, you guys are crazy. Second of all, you guys are awesome, because this is just, imagine walking to a mall and you see this.
I know, you came here for Nickelodeon and you come and get a competition. You see kids hanging on the side looking down. You see parents like pull up their chairs, stopping for a little lunch. So it's pretty awesome being here in this atmosphere at American Dream.
Absolutely, it's going to be a good one. Let's go ahead and take a look at those game faces. Jesse Coleman versus Taylor Sturgis here. Southwest Florida Sharks versus the South Fort Lauderdale Lions. This is a rematch of the 2025 championship, and the Lions are taking that personally. They have the turnover chain out. They have that swag out, and they are ready to take over the championship winning team of the Sharks.
Ready. Stand by. Race.
Don't blink, friends. This is a fast one. Taylor Sturgis, the first one to his hands, but Jesse Coleman, the first one past the first quadrant. Can she get past it first? Yup, and she's going to kick down first, make her way to the barbell, clean and jerk, 210 pounds. And that is a run to the finish line. Taylor Sturgis, unfortunately, faulting out on that ringer point. Wow, you said it, Taylor.
Yeah.
It was Jesse Coleman's to lose, and the Southwest Florida Sharks are going to take 2 points for that one. The Fort Lauderdale Lions will take 1.
They'll actually take 0.
I mean, sorry, 0.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, because unfortunately, Taylor wasn't able to complete that. And we mentioned this at the very beginning. The Lions have to do something with these ringer points, because unfortunately, that really hurt them against the Wild as well, too. They took 0s in all their ringers, and 2 of them, I think, were with 0 points, and 1 of them, was with a bonus flag that the Lions threw that actually was taken against them. So they got to figure it out, because it doesn't matter how fast you are on the other races. You got to do these ringers. These ringers are so important now.
Absolutely, and every race time, every point, everything matters going into this, especially when you're going against a championship caliber team. This is going to be an interesting next one to watch. Voting is now closed for that fan-voted ringer. We're going to find out what that is in just a few minutes. In the meantime, we are going to learn a little bit about the Echo and why it's called Echo.
The Echo race is made up of 4 stations of elements that each must be completed before moving on in the race. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, but only 1 player at a time can perform reps. Substitutions may happen at any time. Once the Echo race is complete, get ready, because the same race will be repeated 45 seconds later. This race is about managing fatigue with your best players and leveraging roster depth to keep performance at a max pace through the second Echo. Remember, get ready to do it again in the Echo race.
We are moving on to the Echoes, where in the first quadrant, the men and women are going to be sharing a 95-pound barbell of 30 reps. The men are going to be performing hang squat clusters, which is a hang clean into a thruster. The women will be performing hang squat cleans. Then they're going to go into 20 bar muscle-ups, followed by 30 bar-facing burpees. And then men and women are going to be sharing another 115-pound barbell sharing 30 reps. Men will be performing squat snatches, and the women will be performing snatches.
That's right, and only 45 seconds in between Echo 1 and Echo 2. That's so you don't have a lot of time to strategize. You kind of strategize in advance. If it doesn't work out the way you wanted, too bad. You don't really have time to really do anything else. You got to get back to the start line and get right back into it. Looks like Ryan DeMatti is getting ready to come out for this Echo, as well as Sam Tovar. I saw Sam and Eric practicing their burpees just a second ago, and they were going about the same speed. So I'm excited to see that head-to-head as we go through this race.
This is definitely going to be exciting. Both teams are very good in the middle. I think it's going to come down to see who can get to that barbell fast. The Lions, the Sharks, they have a very strong strength team, especially with Zephyrin and Blake on the other end. But the Lions, they have a great combination between Taylor and Briley and Ryan DeMatti at the end as well.
Definitely. It's going to be a good showdown right now. Echo 1, let's see it.
Ready. Stand by.
And they're off, starting off with that 30, 95-pound hang squat clean for the women, hang squat clusters for the men. So it is going to be a longer movement for the men. Ryan DeMatti for the Fort Lauderdale Lions and Valerie Gunning for the Southwest Florida Sharks.
Ryan DeMatti said, I don't care if it's a longer movement, I'm still faster. He is making light work of these clusters. And Ryan was a part of my team with the Aces, and he has grown so much. So it's awesome to see him take more of a leader role.
Absolutely. The Lions are in here deep as well. Nick Shappy now on the barbell. Chelsea Raineri waiting to do her reps, while Alexia Perez-Mivieri is chipping away at those. She is extremely fast. I mean, I'm really impressed for a rookie. She really understands grid speed here.
Yeah, she is. And so I remember seeing her, a couple of her videos earlier in the week, and she was looking a little shaky, but she is very coachable. The athletes of the Lions, they coached her up, and she looks so much cleaner.
I mean, the Lions did a great job of starting off this waterfall here. I'm not sure if you caught it there, but they just got right into it. Meanwhile, Chelsea Raineri kind of waited at the top, and that might have cost them a rep or two, especially because Alex Velez, he actually started ahead of the Sharks of Chelsea Raineri. And Janine Nicole is not who I want to see on the other side of the grid for me doing burpees. Sam Tovar not too far behind. So Donna Townsend is going to be taking over for Sam Tovar, but Janine Nicole finishing up, and Eric Cardona is going to be coming on to those. After they do those, it's going to go straight to the barbell at the end. No players are at the barbell at the end quite yet, but we're going to see that in a second. There is 30 of these in total, so we're going to have to see how it goes. No hands in the air for either of these teams. Beta testing has the Lions 2 or 3 reps ahead here, and Janine Nicole is going to be subbing out. Meanwhile, Breezy Lanes is at that last barbell for the Southwest Florida Sharks. Lily Burkhead is going to be taking over for the Fort Lauderdale Lions once Eric Cardona finishes up this last rep, and Lily Burkhead is off. For the women, it's going to be a snatch. For the men, it's going to be a squat snatch, and women are at the end here. So Breezy Lanes just got started. Lily Burkhead 3 reps ahead of her. Derek Anderson is going to be coming in for the Southwest Florida Sharks when Breezy finishes. Marcos Medina is going to be coming in for Lily Burkhead when she finishes.
Breezy Lane, she is such a strong athlete. Arguably one of the strongest women in the league, and she's going head-to-head with Lily Burkhead, who is also a former powerlifter and a horseback rider as well, too. Very talented athlete, but she's going to hand it all to Marcos Medina, who has these very flexible hips and able to pull himself right over. If you see over there, the Sharks, Derek Anderson, the original OG Shark, he's done this a couple of times, so he is making light work of those full snatches.
Yeah, he's actually the one that closed it out for the 2025 championship at the end of the season last season when we saw this very matchup, Lions versus Sharks. 2 reps remaining for Marcos Medina before the Echo finishes. And the Lions are going to go ahead and take this win for Echo 1. Coach Paul Moran is fired up, and they are getting ready for that second Echo as the Sharks cross into the finish line for Echo 1 as well. They're going to be receiving the 1 point to the Lions 2 points for that.
Yeah, so the Lions, they need this match very importantly because with their loss against the Wild, they are sitting at 1-1, and the Sharks are at 2-0 right now. So this is the Lions' only match this weekend, and the Sharks have 2. So the Lions won't have the opportunity to come back again until Dallas. So they have to. It's very important that they come out with this one.
Definitely. It's going to have to be a stronger showing for the Sharks here. 10 seconds going into the next one. Echo 2, it's the exact same thing. Different strategy, I'm sure. Let's see them do it.
Stand by.
And they're off. Valerie gunning for the Southwest Florida Sharks, and this time it's going to be Taylor Sturgis for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. He is going as quickly as possible. Longer rep, as we spoke earlier, for the men to the women's shorter rep, and these two are some of the fastest for the barbell cycling in the league.
So you definitely see each team's strategy, where the Sharks, they're relying a lot more on their women doing the squat cleans, which is the shorter range of motion. The Lions started off with their men to get a little bit faster of a start because the barbell can move a little bit quicker for them, where they have to push through. But Alexia is doing a great job at being able to pull herself down. She got a couple of faults, not standing up all the way, but she got that cleaned up.
Hand up in the air for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, hand up in the air for the Southwest Florida Sharks, and it's going to be the same duo. It's going to be Alex Velez and Chelsea Raineri starting for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and they are starting at the same time this time. No lead for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. He got up there at the same time as Chelsea Raineri. This time, Chelsea is waterfalling with Sam Martin, and this time Alex is waterfalling with Megan Medeiros. Now, this is a little bit of a different strategy. What do we think here, Taylor?
Yeah, so the Lions opted out to put in a little bit fresher athlete with Megan. We did a little bit of work in the front end, but saving Janine a little bit because she has some more volume there. But Janine will be doing some of the burpees, and Megan will be starting with the burpees.
Wow, really big disparity on the amount of reps. Sedona Townsend on the other end is chipping away at these burpees as Eric Cardona comes in for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, but they have a really healthy lead going into this. It's about 6 or 7 reps ahead of the Fort Lauderdale Lions here. We have that beta testing score at the bottom of the screen so you can know who is ahead. Janine Nicole is going to be tagging in as Eric Cardona is getting ready for the next element if he needs to be tagging in at all. They did this last time. We saw it work. David Blatt is on the other end finishing those as Breezy Lanes gets ready to handle that heavy barbell at the beginning. Trisha Davis is coming to the heavy barbell to finish as soon as Eric Cardona finishes off, but Breezy Lanes is 2 reps in. All right, only a 2-rep lead for the Southwest Florida Sharks as the Lions come into this, and this is still anybody's Echo 2. It would be an upset if the Sharks win the Echo 2, considering the fact that the Lions won the last time, and it was a close one. Transition here, Blake Kidder is making his grid debut, coming back for the season, and they really needed him here, friends, for the Southwest Florida Sharks as far as morale and power goes. Trisha Davis chipping away at these as she's going to sub out for Marcos Medina. Sydney Witter waiting to take over for Blake Kidder any second, and Blake Kidder actually just hurt himself on that last one. He's hurting himself on his elbow, on his forearm. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. Look at Sydney Witter and how fast she's going. That's actually crazy. I haven't seen her go that fast in quite a while, actually, now that I think about it. Marcos Medina finishing as quickly as possible. Hands in the air for both teams. 3 reps remaining for the Southwest Florida Sharks. Derek Anderson waiting to take over if need be, but the Southwest Florida Sharks are going to take Echo 2. We love a give and take, Echo.
Oh my goodness, the Sharks, they made up so much ground on the burpee over the bar, and they gave it to two people that you don't want to see on the Sharks side, and that's Breezy Lane and Blake Kidder. And we saw Blake come off holding his elbow, and I'm hoping that it's not anything real serious, because this is his first match back. He's such an important athlete for them, so hoping that it's not bad.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one to see, and we're going to find out in just a second. In the meantime, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The ladder consists of 2 rows of 4 stations of a strength-based element, 1 row for males and 1 row for females. The weight increases as you move down the grid. Teams send out 1 player at a time, alternating male and female, to perform the designated lift for the match format. Each successful lift has a point value that is added to the team's ladder score. The point value is equal to the quadrant the barbell is sitting in. Players are allowed 1 lift attempt per quadrant and may skip any quadrant they choose, but are never allowed to backtrack once a barbell is passed. The team with the highest total point value at the end of the 4-minute time cap wins. This race is one of the most strategic and coach-reliant of all of the races. As a good game plan and in-the-moment decision-making, to manage time is everything. Remember, lift heavier and score higher in the ladder race.
Peachy athletic shorts, guys. Just saying. Looking peachy.
And the peaches are great. They're really stretchy. They're soft.
I like the fit. I like the fabric. It makes me just feel more comfortable while I'm working out. I don't have to worry about things coming out.
Love training in these shorts. Love competing in the shorts. They stay put. Got a really nice thick waistband.
They definitely pass the squat test and the booty test. They're really comfortable. Like I could wear them out and I could wear them on the floor.
So I still feel covered, but able to do all the movements.
Go get yourself some.
Everybody, I'm here with the Southwest Florida Sharks coach, owner, extraordinaire, business mind. This is the recap of the 2025 championship. Talk to me about how that feels and what are your expectations going into this?
Same thing. It feels just like the championship match. They're ready to win. We're ready to win. It's going to be a battle all the way to the end.
Absolutely. And going into this, obviously, you know, you've played the Lions before and you've seen them last year in the championship. What, if any, weaknesses do you think that you needed to fill going into this one, especially knowing that this is such a high-caliber opponent?
Yeah, no, this, for us, is just staying healthy. Well, we're a little banged up. Blake's banged up. David is banged up. So we tried to stay healthy, but I hope we can manage that now.
And talk to me a little bit about your strategy going into this and how you feel about the ladder, because historically you're very good at ladders, almost perfect. We've talked about this before, so talk to me about this specific race that's coming next.
Yeah, no, so ladder for us, this match, this particular one, we're trying to get 10 people through, which is not normal. That's going to be our goal for today. The next race, which is Jack and Jill, they're very good at it. So, and not having David full force, kind of little handle that. So we got to capitalize on this one.
Last question, status update on Blake Kidder. We saw him come off the grid holding his elbow. Was that a previous injury or is that something brand new?
Yeah, he's been nursing a forearm thing. We thought we were good, so I haven't talked to him yet, so hopefully he can go.
Thank you so much for your time and good luck on the rest of your race. I'm going to take it back to Taylor.
All right, so coming up next, we have the snatch ladder. The men's weight is going to go from 195, 215, 235, and 255 pounds. And the women's weight is going to increase from 120, 135, 150 to 165 pounds. Each athlete will have the opportunity to accumulate as many bars as they can going up the grid, earning points for their team for each respective bars quadrant. So the athlete completes successfully the bar in quadrant 1, they earn 1 point. If they successfully complete the barbell in quadrant 4, they'll get 4 points, each allowing a maximum of 10 points that they can earn their team.
That's right, Taylor. It's gonna be a good one. We spoke about it before. The snatch is very technical. Talk to me about what could go wrong here.
Oh my goodness, the snatch is my favorite one, and a lot of
too.
people's worst. The one that they hate the most. But they hate it because it tells all your business. And so if you don't set up right, even if it's a light bar, if you're a little bit forward, it can pull you forward. If you overpull, it can finish behind you. So you got to be fast, but you also have to be strong and precise as well.
That's right. We spoke about this before. We both love the snatches here, and we're watching this, and we're seeing a lot of mistakes can go wrong, and it's also something that could go very fast if it goes right.
Last match, we actually saw both teams get all 10 athletes through, and they were looking like, we're done. And you typically don't see that. Typically, you're trying to get as many athletes as you can, maybe missing one or two that aren't able to come through. So it's very possible you may see all 10 athletes go through.
That's right. Would you say maybe take a little bit of a lighter approach going to the barbell, especially since, you know, we've seen teams go all the way through? Is it more important to go as fast as possible, or is it more important to make sure that you're doing the movement correctly in a snatch ladder like this, as you as an athlete and a former coach?
It's a little bit of both. The first couple of bars, you want to make them fast because you don't want to waste a lot of time there. And then to be able to have a little bit more time on the heavier bars where you need to set up and make sure that everything is perfect.
That's right, Taylor. Let's go ahead and take a look at those game faces. They're ready to come out here. We're ready to watch them. Breezy Lane, of course, starting off for the Southwest Florida Sharks, as we always see her. Briley Smith for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, trying to send out your fastest people first. And they're off. Starting off with the first one, women's 120, men is 195. Very heavy bars even to start and to finish, so we're going to see how they get through. Breezy Lane's healthy lead ahead of Briley Smith here. She's already in the third quadrant as Briley moves into the third quadrant. Now, Breezy Lane's chronic snatch ladder finisher. Briley Smith doing very well. It looks like they're opting to take their time a little bit here as he goes into that fourth bar. So let's see if we get a ladder clear here as well for Briley. Oh, and that is a fault for Briley, unfortunately, and that's going to cost him some time because Roderick Holloway is already in the third quadrant with a power snatch. So they're going to have to go pretty fast here. Lily Burkhead going to the third quadrant for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Roderick Holloway, though, failing on that fourth bar.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. Like, yes, you can clear the ladder, but it's also about speed as well, too. So you saw Briley take his time with the last two bars and unfortunately missed that fourth one, so he wasn't able to, so it wasted a little bit more time.
That's right. Kyra Milligan, first ladder clear here on the grid. CrossFit Games athlete had no trouble doing that. They actually did that in the CrossFit Games this year, so that was really cool to watch. Taylor Sturgis coming out for the fourth bar. Can he clear it? Oh, and that is unfortunately a fall. It's a lot of faults on the Lions side for the men having done the snatch ladder as Derek Anderson moves into the fourth quadrant for the Southwest Florida Sharks. But we have rookie over here, Alexia Perez Vieri, her rookie, and Derek Anderson is going to clear that ladder. It's still anybody's. Our beta testing score at the bottom of your screen has the Southwest Florida Sharks ahead by about 10, and we know what happens if you get over 10 points, Taylor.
Yes, we do. And we just saw Alexia, unfortunately, miss that fourth quadrant, too. So that is three fourth quadrant misses from the Alliance, and you're seeing that the Sharks, they have hit almost every single four. So hopefully they can start bringing up the momentum, but they're going to need some points fast.
That's right. They're getting their athletes fast ahead of these pretty fast here. Ryan DeMatti clearing that fourth bar. It's a little bit what the Lions needed as Chalking Graham approaches the fourth bar, and that's going to be a fault for Chalking Graham. A little bit dangerous, it looked like. Trisha Davis already in the second quadrant as Chelsea Rainieri comes out for the second.
Yeah, and Chalking is coming back from a shoulder surgery last year. So to see him catch it, it didn't really look too stable there. So hoping that it's not anything serious.
That's right. Trisha Davis coming out 165, and unfortunately that's going to be a fault for her going into that one. Chelsea Rainieri not trying the fourth bar as Andrade comes out for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Blake Kidder, look at the speed on Kidder right now for the Southwest Florida Sharks, how fast he goes through the snatch ladder. He is dealing with an injury. Oh, he's not going to go for that 4th bar, which is unusual for him, so he must actually be hurt.
Yeah, and Blake is typically one of the fastest athletes on the grid, so for him to miss that is going to be huge. And so you see Archie actually cleared the ladder, which is huge for him, and definitely much needed for the Lions. The Lions need every single point right now to make sure that they do not fall within that 10-point deficit.
And this is a huge disparity right now that our beta testing is showing, that the Fort Lauderdale Lions have a lot of room to make up. And Caroline Molina is coming out for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. She is a strength specialist. Can she clear the ladder? Pretty easy ladder clear for Caroline Molina. Really fast to get to the bar as well. Marcos Medino knowing that he needs to make up time, so he's going straight to that 2nd quadrant. 15 seconds left on the clock. He is a veteran, and he is going to have to go as far as possible if he can. Nick Shappy limping a little bit off the grid as he finishes, and that is a fault for Marcos Medina. Nope. And they are going to cure that 1st bar for Janine Nicole. She got that 1 point for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and we are going to know for sure what the finishing score is, but right now it is 10.
Oh my goodness.
Unofficially.
They need that. So hopefully we'll see if that 1 bar that Janine hit at the end proved to be the game saver.
Absolutely.
Because we'll see how important that one was. But this is what we're talking about. The Lions were very slow at the beginning, and the Sharks were able to get through the majority, if not their entire team there. And the Lions, I think they had maybe 1 or 2 more athletes, and Janine can easily go through the first 3. So we'll see if them wasting time in the later quadrants is going to come back to hunt them.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and check out those gym shout-out sponsorships. And we're going to show you all the grid gyms that we're affiliated with. Look at this, how much fun. We got 2 pages of this, Taylor. All of these gyms are grid affiliated gyms. They are so lit. A lot of Florida, a lot of New York. Let's go ahead and go to the next page, and we'll see some more, and we'll tell you what gyms we are from. That's right, we are here. I'm part of Team Omnia. That's actually a USA weightlifting gym that's actually owned and managed by Coach Paul Bear, the coach and owner of the Las Vegas Venom in South Florida.
And I am a part of JC Fit up here in Jersey City. So we have a lot of the crowd here in the stand. So it's awesome to see them and be represented now.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and take it to Kendrick on the floor. Kendrick has some information for us.
And the votes are in. The fans, you voted. Here's how it works. Out of total of 6 ringer point options, each coach locked in 1, and we put the remaining 4 to a global fan vote. Players, coaches, it's gonna be the Farmer's Carry from start to finish. That is Farmer's Carry for the fan voted ringer points. Farmer's Carry is gonna be 215 pounds for the men, 145 pounds for the women. They're gonna carry the bars and race to the finish line.
Wow, that is amazing, Taylor. 46% of people voted for that one out of 4. So that is a good chunk.
Wow, that's awesome. I know that the Lions were actually hoping for the ring muscle-ups, which is actually very interesting because the Sharks are very good at the ring muscle-ups, but I know they're also without their star bodyweight specialist, Q. But they're really good. I think actually both squads is really good at the Farmer's Carry. I think the Lions are probably going to utilize Ryan DeMatti, and depending on how Blake's elbow is going to be doing, I will have him there. He's a gritter. He is a hard worker, so I'm pretty sure that he probably gritted through for the sake of his team. But if not, then they have plenty of other guys out there, maybe even Chalkeen or even Roderick, who may come out to step up for them.
Absolutely, and it's exciting to see as we go through this. I kind of have Breezy coming out for the Southwest Florida Sharks.
Yeah,
she's kind of the Farmer Carry queen here too. Or Sydney as well. Yeah, they're both really
You're
fast.
absolutely right.
And this is lightweight for them, so we'll just have to see what they choose. For the women, it's going to be 145, and for the men, it's going to be 215. So we're going to get that information for you soon. In the meantime, we're doing a ringer point presented by Little Leaf Farms. Let's go ahead and see those options. Little Leaf Farms is is the most modern greenhouse in the world and brings you sustainably grown local lettuce all year round. Find out if Little Leaf Farms has a location near you at littleleaffarms.com. Now, we're about to watch the deficit handstand push-ups. That's going to be this one right here. For the men, it's going to be... Sorry, for the Sharks, it's going to be Kyra Milligan, and for the Lions, it's going to be Megan Medeiros. So women versus women, that's going to be 8 each for the deficit handstand push-ups, 8.
This is definitely going to be very smart for the Lions. Megan is undefeated in this, but Kyra is also a very experienced and great competitor as well too. She is a rookie, so it'll be there's a little bit of unknown about how fast she can go here. So it's going to be fun to see her come out of here and just go head to head with one of the league's best in the handstand push-ups.
Absolutely. That final ladder score, we have it in, friends, and it is going to be 70-80. The Sharks have taken that one, unsurprisingly.
So that one bar lifted by Janine Nicole proved to be the decision maker. That one point was very important because it helped them, avoided them from getting a 0 in that race. So that was very important. They didn't get another 0.
Definitely. It was interesting to see and really exciting. So let's go ahead and see CrossFit Games athlete Kyra Milligan going against Megan Medeiros, grid veteran. So this is going to be a really good one. Shout out to Little Leaf Farms for presenting this Ringer Point race, the most modern greenhouse in the world. Rookie versus veteran is always tough, Taylor. No telling how this could go, especially against a CrossFit Games athlete, but sometimes experience shines.
Ready. Stand by.
And they're off. Kyra Milligan versus Megan Medeiros. Southwest Florida Sharks versus Fort Lauderdale Lions. 8 for each. It looks like Megan Medeiros has a slight lead here, if I'm not mistaken. But it's all about keeping it up. 1 rep remaining, and it's a sprint. Oh my God! Kyra Milligan just secured that win for the Southwest Florida Sharks. The rookie, the CrossFit Games athlete, has taken it. Megan Medeiros, man. That is a tough one because Megan Medeiros, this is her bread and butter, as you said.
Yeah, it's the Sharks, they needed that one because last year they were missing a female deficit handstand push-up athlete, and so they got one in Kira. Megan started off to a strong start. She was ahead. Kira picked up a little bit of speed towards the end and was able to close out the gap at the end.
Yeah, it was all about that finish, kind of that sprint and getting down from it with ease, and really practicing that is just as important as practicing the movement itself sometimes.
It is. And again, Kyra is a CrossFit Games athlete, so coming out here as a rookie she still isn't a rookie because she's used to high level of competition. So we saw that pressure didn't even rattle her at all.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be right back. You're going to learn about Jack and Jill. We're going to wait right here for you.
Jack and Jill features 3 stations of high-level bodyweight-based elements that increase in difficulty moving down the grid. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, and only 1 player can be working at a time. The team can only move on to the next station when the previous station is complete. This race is the simplest when it comes to rules, but the most reliant on player skill and speed, as the hyper-specialists often make the difference in the race. Remember, let the bodyweight ninjas fly in the Jack and Jill race.
Cook less and live more with rebuilt meals. Fresh, nutritious meals, chef-prepared and perfectly portioned to help you hit your macros. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning. No commitments and no contracts. Rebuilt Meals offers plans to satisfy any lifestyle. We offer gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free options, and the menu changes every week, so you'll never get bored. Let us do the cooking so you can do all the living. Visit rebuiltmeals.com and use promo code REBUILTREADY for 50% off your first order.
All right, so coming up for Jack and Jill, they're going to start off with 60 chest-to-bar pull-ups, going into 30 double touches, which is a total bar to chest-to-bar, and they're going to finish with 15 triple touches, which is a total bar, chest-to-bar into a bar muscle-up.
That's right, Taylor. It's going to be a good one. We saw it happen earlier, and we're about to see it happen again. you know, explain what the movements are for those who are not familiar with grid terms, what a triple touch, double touch is.
So again, the triple touch or the double touch, I'll start there, is where you complete a toes to bar into a chest to bar for 1 rep. And a triple touch is you got to complete a toe to bar, chest to bar, and a bar bust up. That'll be considered 1 rep.
That's right, Taylor. So very high skilled, very fast movement. It's not just about doing one, it's about doing it in sequence, because if you mess up that sequence, you're kind of done. And you got to start all over. It is a longer rep to be done, so you really have to make sure if you're going to waterfall it, which is one person going at a time, you have to really time it very well. Now, they're starting off with those toes to bars, if I'm not mistaken?
Chest to bar.
Chest to bar, excuse me, thank you. And we're going to see it go from there, and it's going to get a longer rep scheme as we go through. So let's see them do it. Game faces over here on the grid. Roderick Holloway ready to come out. Big dude doing some big gymnastics with Valerie Gunning. Meanwhile, Briley Smith and Janet Duran are getting ready for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. What do we think about this race, Taylor?
Both teams have very high skill gymnasts. Of course, the Lions, this is typically their bread and butter. So I don't know. I think it's going to come down to who can get off the chest to bar the best.
Stand by. Race.
And they're off once again. Roderick Holloway versus Valerie Gunning for the Southwest Florida Sharks versus Briley Smith and Janet Duran for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Janet Duran, of course, being a very high output gymnast and being very good at doing those things as well and any of those movements.
So you are seeing the athletes, both teams performing waterfalls, where the rep counts when one athlete's at the top, the other's at the bottom. But if both athletes are at the top at the same time, then they are only going to count 1 rep. So it's all about timing and flow. So you saw the Lions got a little bit out of sync and rhythm at first, so it caused them a little bit to fall back, but they're still looking very strong.
Looks like Briley Smith's biceps are blown up a little bit. He was struggling on a few of those chest to bars, but Janet Duran is going to be the first one. I can't believe that nobody was on the grid for a second on the Shark side.
I know.
You have to have at least one person on the grid, and that might cost them going into this Jack and Jill, because look how much Janine Nicole has been working here and going fast. So, I mean, there is only one of her, and Christian Alvarez-Velez is just getting to the bar as well. Look at his feet together. He moves like such a gymnast, and they are going to have to go as quickly as possible, but kind of crazy for a veteran team, a championship team, to have nobody on the grid at one time.
I know, and the chest to bar is such a fast movement. It's easy to drop off a little bit sooner and realize, like, oh shoot, 5 reps only takes 5 seconds, so you have to get off the grid there. But you see the Lions were able to make up time with Christian on the double touches, and you don't want to see the Lions, Jack and Jill, Paula and Eric Cardona over here on the other side.
That's right. I mean, just looking at Paula, you can see how fast she is. She's from the Fort Lauderdale Lions, just right here on your screen, how fast she is at the movement. Eric as well, and they started ahead. So we're going to see hands up in the air for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. No hand in the air quite yet for the Sharks from what I can tell from my point of view here. But this might be a Fort Lauderdale Lions win here for this one. And that is it. That is it. They have to run to the finish line. And Eric and Paula are going to secure the bag for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Wow.
Yeah, they needed that one. They needed that one, especially after taking a loss in the Echo, the ladder, and the ringer. They needed this one. So now we always say that it's a new race coming on the other side of that ladder. So these next couple of races are going to be very, very important for the Lions to recover, but the Sharks to stay in it as well, too.
Definitely, it's gonna be a doozy as going into the back half of this match, as both of these teams are really strong, and it's cool to see the Lions kind of get their legs back for the Jack and Jill. I think they maybe lost it a little bit. Maybe it was like a confidence thing, maybe it was like a discipline thing. What do you think it was? And especially going against a championship team like the Sharks, to be able to pull off that win for the Jack and Jill.
It could be a host of different things, because athletes in practice, they're, especially on the ladder, they've completed this, but then when you come out here, the energy, the flights, everybody's flights have been delayed, so there's a lot of people that are tired, not even sleeping in their own beds, but just travel situations. It could be a host of different things that are going on here. But both teams there right now, they're fighting. They know the importance of this, and this is the Lions' only shot this weekend. The Sharks, they got 2 matches.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
they have to. This is their chance and final opportunity to secure their spot at the top.
Definitely, especially because they're going into this with a loss.
Yeah.
You know? So that's a really tough one going into this one. Shout out to this couple right here on the Lions. But we are going to go ahead and come right back. We don't want you to go anywhere. See you in a sec.
The triad is the only race in which there is a male and a female version performed separately. It consists of 5 elements, each with 3 stations that must be completed individually. 3 players can be on the grid at any given time. All players can perform at any station and in any order. But all of the designated reps must be performed at each station. All 3 stations of each element must be complete before the team can move on to the next element. The triad is all about player conditioning and managing fatigue across the team. The best strategy ensures players have enough left in the tank for the last element and has backup plans for when things inevitably go wrong. Remember, try to catch your breath in the triad race.
1, 2, 3,
for the women's triad. The women are going to start off with 10 devil's presses at 35 pounds, followed by 15 handstand push-ups, then 15 D-ball squats. You must hold the ball on the shoulder at 100 pounds. Then they're going to go into 5 ring muscle-ups, and they're going to finish with 15 deadlifts with an axle bar at 205 pounds.
That's right, Taylor. This is a Hurt Locker of a triad right now, but here is who we have for the fan-voted ringer.
All right, for the fan-voted ringer, we have the Sharks Breezy and we have the Lions Lily. Wow,
right.
So I love both choices as well. Lily, actually both women are incredibly strong and great at odd objects. And so I actually thought they were going to put Ryan in there, but it actually makes sense because he will be finishing up from the triad. So allow him a little bit more rest to recover to get ready for the sprint relay. But Lily is more than capable of doing it. But Breezy, she is strong.
And she's done it a lot.
She's strong, she's long, she's fast.
Yeah.
So she's done it a lot, and she's been pretty successful at it. So the Lions definitely got their work cut out for them, but we've seen some crazy things all day.
That's right, Taylor, and it's going to be a good one to watch. So don't go anywhere. That's going to happen right after the triads. It's the one that you voted for, 46% of the votes. Now, getting ready for the female triad. It's female versus female, Lady Sharks versus the ladies of the Lions.
Yep.
So talk to me a little bit about women versus women here. Hate to put strong women against each other like always, all right? Don't come for me. But that's just what it is.
Yeah, so the triad hurts. So in each quadrant, you have 3 stations, and you cannot move to the next station until all the reps are completed at that station. So you have to have 3 athletes complete each separate station and then move and do the same thing with the next element. And you have to move across the grid. So even if you finish first, you cannot move forward until everybody has finished.
That's right, and we're watching that in work right now. Lily Burkhead, Paula Leyes, and Caroline Moline for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. On the left-hand side of your screen, it's going to be Chelsea Rainieri, Jesse Coleman, and that was Kyra Milligan, but she's going to switch out for Valerie Gunning here. This one is hurting, my friends, and this is actually the shoulder to overhead.
The devil's press.
Sorry, the devil's press here for this one.
And both teams and both women are, for the Sharks and Lions, are very, very strong on the triad. So I think it's going to come down to these handstand push-ups and who can handle these 100-pound D-ball squats. But also, we also saw in the last match where the Breakers women had a hard time with the ring muscle-ups. So the team that can actually get to the barbell first and conquer the ring muscle-ups, I think it's definitely going to have that advantage.
And you've said it before, Taylor, and I'm just going to echo that sentiment really quick. You're as fast as your slowest player here for the triad because you can't move on until they do. So Megan Madero struggling to get the D-ball on her shoulder. By the way, that's 100 pounds per shoulder after doing all of that. So on one shoulder, you're uneven. You're trying to go as quickly as possible, and the Lady Sharks are already going into the next element in 4 reps. The Lions are struggling here a little bit, and we can see just how far ahead the Sharks are, as hands are just coming into the air for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. They can't move to the next one until they're done with all of the elements at that station. Sydney Witter, Kyra Milligan, and Chelsea Rainieri for the Southwest Florida Sharks going. Chelsea Rainieri using a waterfall movement for hers, so she has 1 rep remaining really fast. Kyra Milligan without the butterfly, very fast for her muscle-ups as they go into the axle bar deadlift.
So we see here over there the Lions at Megan Madero. She was having a little bit of hard time with the D-ball squats. And so Lily actually had to come off the rings and finish off her section over there, which allowed the Sharks an opportunity to get ahead. And now they have all their women on that bar finishing already all the stations, so they're going to easily
Sharks finishing off, and the Lady Sharks are going to finish the female triad and win this triad before they even get to the last element. 15 reps on each bar, 90 seconds remaining. Paula Leyes, bodyweight specialist, taking over for the axle bar because she is just so strong in the forearms.
Yeah, so the Lions, they will finish this, but they really have to do some damage control over the next couple of races here. The men definitely have to show up and finish and get a victory over here. Otherwise, the Sharks are going to start pulling away.
That's right, and it's going to be ending up with a 3-point deficit for the Lions going into the male triad. 3 races remaining, 3 chances remaining for the Lions to do some damage back. For Lily Burkhead finishing up that last rep, and the Lions are going to finish within the time cap. They will get 1 point.
Yeah, so that was very unfortunate. And we said it's going to come down to the handstand push-ups and the D-ball squats. And unfortunately, the Lions just had a little bit of a tougher time than the Sharks. The Sharks women are just so incredibly strong, but they're also very good at gymnastics as well, too. So they handled the D-ball squats very comfortably, and they were able to finish the rest of the movements and just walking on in.
Absolutely. We're going to see what's happening next in just a minute. In the meantime, you're going to learn about grid positions. Be right back.
Unlike American football or baseball, where positions are very clearly defined with rules specific to them, grid league positions are more general. Think of it as a spectrum with a 4-foot gymnast on one end and a 400-pound strongman on the other, with every possible size, shape, and skill set focus filling in the middle. Roles on the grid have a lot of crossover from position to position, and there are many possible combinations that will yield a great team. Grid league has 3 primary player positions or roles on the team. Utility players generally have a wide range of abilities and end up with a diverse set of assignments on the grid. Utility players, although often assigned more total work than specialists, will still focus on their best movements as their means to contribute to the team. The strength specialist role often involves heavier assignments and, depending on the player's background, may be even more focused to individual types of strength movement, such as Olympic weightlifting or strongmen. Most of the super high-skill movements like backward roll to support in deficit, freestanding handstand push-ups are performed by bodyweight specialists. That said, there are several bodyweight specialists that mainly focus on more basic movements, but for big sets and fast cycle rates. Many are gymnasts as well, but even some of the best do not have gymnastics backgrounds, such as former MVP Paula Leyes. Learn more about the sport of grid league at fgl.com/learn.
Friends, I'm here with Alexia of the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Alexia, please tell everybody where you're coming from today.
So I come from France, actually, flying like a week ago to the United States. I'm very happy to be here.
That's awesome. How was your flight over here, and what was your expectation about coming onto the grid? It's a foreign country, it's a foreign sport probably. Talk to me about your athletic background as well.
Yes. So flight was great. I'm happy that I was able to land here a week ago so I could get used to the new time zone. And Grid League is absolutely amazing. The feeling, amazing. The rest, the rush in the veins, everything so great. I'm so happy to be here.
And you told me you were a weightlifter, so how different is the training for something like grid, and what were your expectations coming into this sport?
So in weightlifting, you're more focusing about technique. In grid, also technique, but you have to be faster, and I have to focus on getting faster and being good on technique, which was challenging for me. But I have a good coach, so.
And how did you find out about grid? I mean, you're from France. Obviously, you did weightlifting, so you're in the fitness world a little bit. So talk to me about that and what made you finally decide, yes, I want to do this.
So Alex, the main coach of the team, found me on Instagram and asked me if I was interested in eventually joining the team, and I said, yeah. So, yeah, that's just it.
Okay. Super cool. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck on the rest of your match. Hope you're having fun.
See you around.
Thank you. Back to Taylor.
All right, for the men, we have 10 devil's presses. The men's weight will be 50 pounds, followed by 15 handstand push-ups, then 15 deep ball squats with a shoulder support with 150 pounds. Then right there, the men are going to be doing 7 ring muscle-ups, and they are going to be finishing with 15 reps of deadlifts with an axle bar at 295 pounds. Yeah. So just like with the men, the men will have to do the exact same thing that the women were doing, just with a little bit heavier a load. The difference is there probably won't see any bottleneck between the with the men's side. They all are very capable of performing all the reps and movements without any issues. So it will be probably more of just balls to the wall, and just them just going complete max effort there, and who can get to that bar the fastest.
That's right, Taylor. It's a really good one here, really good match. Just a few points separate them. It's still anybody's going into these last 3 races. Male triad, of course, the fan-voted ringer, and the sprint relay. But there's a lot of discussion going on, friends. I'm not quite sure what it is, but we're going to give you some eyes so you can see a little bit about what's happening while we find out some more. Don't go anywhere.
After review, the entire set of devil press took longer or shorter than the outcome of the race. So even if some reps were bad, that would not impact the outcome of the race. Also, there was contact from coach to player outside of the hash marks. We're going to review the rule book as to what the penalty is.
All right, friends, so it looks like we're a little delayed as we read the rule book. You know, we're all about fairness here in the Grid League, and we're going to find out what exactly it is, especially going so close to the playoffs, if the coach from the Lions did touch somebody on the grid.
Yeah, so they did confirm that the coach did, in fact, touch the athlete. So the rule, which was implemented maybe a few years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago.
Shout out to the Sharks for that.
Shout out to the Sharks, exactly. Shout out to the Sharks. But if a coach touch a player outside of the hash marks, then I think they may get disqualified for that particular race, excuse me. So they may get 0. So even though they finish, they may have a 0 on that.
So talk to me a little bit about it, because I'm not exactly sure what that rule is. You have to be within the hash mark. The coach can't be on the grid. Like, talk to me about the specifics of that and what that looks like.
So a coach cannot pretty much touch their athlete at all. They can't have, like, if you see an athlete in not the right position, the coach cannot make their way onto the grid and physically touch their athlete and put them in the proper position.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like helping the other, it's helping their team.
Yeah.
So that happened years back with the Sharks.
At the start line, that was fun.
At the start line.
Coach to player contact outside of the hash marks is an automatic race loss, but they retain 1 point for finishing under the cap, so there's no change to the outcome of the race.
Okay.
Okay, interesting. So they had lost that one already, but still finished within the time cap. So the rule said
So
that
they
you would lose the race if you won it, but since they already lost it, it's the 1 point?
Yes, it's the 1 point. So that's the part that I wasn't quite sure about, if they lost the point or not, or if it was just a race loss. But Mather, the commissioner and acting head ref of the day, confirmed that it will be an automatic just loss, but they retained the point. So it didn't really make a difference. So that's lucky for the Lions. They can't afford to have any more zeros. But so now we just move on and keep on playing more grid.
Absolutely, and this is a good one going into this, the male triad. Now we're gonna see how the male Sharks go against the male Lions.
Yep.
You know, this is not, you know, the jungle where you usually see a lion, or the ocean where you usually see a shark, but we are here in the American Dream in New Jersey. The sun is in our faces now. Welcome in, and we're having a lot of fun going into this male triad, male versus male. Let's take a look at those game faces. 30 seconds until they start. What are we thinking about going into this? What is to be considered, I guess?
I'm thinking that the Lions better put the foot on the gas, because they need it, especially going to that fan ringer. But we're actually going to be seeing Nick Shappy and Blake Kidder and see if their injuries are actually going to slow them down. But they are two of the biggest guys with the biggest hearts in the team, so I don't think it will affect them.
Definitely. Ryan DeMatti getting ready to come out. Briley Smith and Eric Cardona ready to come out for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. For the Sharks is going to be Zion Zafra, Blake Kidder, and Nick Shappy. Nick Shappy and Blake Kidder nursing some injuries, so them going so fast as they are is pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah, but they're both such incredibly strong athletes. You see Blake, he only did a couple of reps and he passed it off to Roderick Holloway. So you're probably going to see a lot of communication here, but right now, you can't really tell who has to lead. Maybe the Sharks has a little bit small of an edge, but the Lions is going to have to go and just do some work on these head temperatures.
Absolutely. It looks like the Lions were the first ones to go upside down, but of course, you're only as fast as your slowest athlete, as Eric Cardona comes in to the fold. Not that he's slow, but he did have to be tagged in, so it's interesting to see him there. But look how fast he's going. I mean, only 2 remaining, and he was like one of the last ones to start. So it looks like Taylor Sturgis already has the D-ball in hand, and he is starting as Blake Kidder gets the ball onto his shoulder. Everybody else not too far behind, and they're going to have to make up some work. I got to say, the male Lions are really impressing me right now with the speed. They are starting after the Sharks' last player, but they're going extremely fast, as the Sharks are as well. So we're seeing them go head-to-head here as fast as possible. 150 pounds on one shoulder is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, and they know how important this is, unfortunately, with the women's loss in the triad, that they have to go in and do some serious damage control right now, going to that fan voter ringer to make sure it stays as close as possible for the sprint relay.
That's right, and this rig is rigging right now, and they're going as quickly as they can. Eric Cardona is going to be tagging out to let Taylor Sturgis come to the axle bar, and they have to finish as quickly as possible. 1 rep remaining for Briley Smith, and it looks like the Lions are the first to the axle bar. How much weight is that, Taylor? That looks like that's going to be
295 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Sharks are actually getting a little bit caught up. You see Roderick actually fell a ring muscle up, and that's actually very surprising because he is a former gymnast here, but David Blatt had to come in and help out.
Wow, look how far behind the Sharks are. I've never seen the Sharks far behind in a race in so long. Only 4 reps remaining, 5 reps remaining for the Fort Lauderdale Lions as the Sharks just get to the axle bar. So we're going to have to see how this plays out for them, because there's a lot of ground to make up as the Lions take that male triad. They really needed that win going into these last few races if they stand a prayer of winning this match.
Yeah, you see Archie Andrade trying to get the crowd involved and keep the energy up, because there's still a lot of match left in here. So they're going to go into the fan voter ringer point, and then the sprint relay, which is worth 3 points. So it's still anybody's match right here, and the Lions definitely needed that.
Whoosh. It's going to be a good one, friends. And let's go ahead and look at those ringer points once more, bringing up that graphic. And we are looking at the Farmer's Carry. Of course, it's going to be Breezy Lanes from the Southwest Florida Sharks versus Lily Burkhead from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Lily Burkhead, a little bit newer to grid. Breezy's been here for a long time, and Breezy's done this many times. Have we ever seen Lily do this one?
I can't remember. Like, she's been on and off on the grid. She was a part of the Tampa Bay Brigade to begin with, and but she's not a stranger to grid. But now last year she kind of played like a limited role. This year she came back as a full-time grid athlete, and I know the Lions are happy to have her.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and take a look at the big camera that lords over us here on the grid, so you can get a big view of what we're looking at here on the grid. It looks like they're going to be coming down. For the women, of course, it's going to be 210 pounds. Do I have that right? 210?
Yep,
Just about, yep. So
no, 145 pounds, sorry.
Per hand.
200, yeah, per hand.
Whoa.
And 210 was the clean and jerk weight.
That is a lot, especially considering that not too long ago they were just doing those axle bar deadlifts. That's a lot of fatigue.
A lot of grip.
Forearms, yeah.
A lot of grip. But both of these athletes, they've had a little bit of time to rest and recover, and they're both incredibly strong and fast women. I kind of have Breezy with the slight edge there, being very comfortable with this ringer, having done it before, and just have those longer legs there. But also Lily is very strong herself as well too. But definitely going to have to make sure she's staying in control of those farm and carry and being able to sprint all the way.
And not to mention, this is a rerun of the championship match, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, they're bringing it back. A little bit of difference between the two teams, you know, but it's really cool to see them all put it together and know what the other team's weaknesses are, and like feel all those little intricacies of like, I don't want to be your friend right now. Like, this, you took that money away from me last season, and I'm coming back for it this season, especially from the Sharks trying to defend that as well.
Exactly, and this is a statement for both of them. And so again, like we said, the Lions are coming in 1-1, and the Sharks at 2-0. And the Sharks, this is their last opportunity to hold their position at the #1 spot, and the Lions need this win to still be considered as a playoff contender.
Absolutely, and there's only 2 races left. The Lions only trail by 1.
Oh my God.
So this is as good as a match as you are getting, friends. So exciting. We're going to see Breezy go versus Lily here. And sometimes just the beginning is the real difference maker of being able to come forward and as fast as possible without tipping it over too much, because then you will trip. We've seen it time and time again.
Exactly. It's such a simple movement to execute, but also a simple movement to mess up as well, too. So smooth is fast, fast is smooth is on this one.
Yeah, and Ryan Damati, he's usually the one that kind of does this ringer point for them. But look at him giving Lily tips here. So if you're Ryan, what are you telling Lily? Maybe somebody who's never done this before on the grid in a match.
You have to be strong with your first pull and make sure that you're standing up control and stable, but also making sure that you got to be still fast with your steps and keeping that core and that rib cage down in order to support it. So he's probably just telling her maybe some good tips just to get that start nice and strong as possible to stay competitive.
That's right. 1 point separates these teams. Let's take a look at those game faces as they get ready. Breezy Lanes for the Sharks. Lily Burkhead for the Lions. A lot of weight in both hands. Let's see them do it. And they're off. Lily first off the floor. Breezy tipping forward just a little bit, but Breezy with a little tip of it ahead. This might be a photo finish. Nope, eyes closed. Breezy is going to take that ringer point race, but no doubt in my mind that Lily finished within 20% of Breezy.
That was so close. And Lily actually was the smoother of the two athletes.
Totally.
Breezy almost lost it a little bit, but she stayed low and kept the feet moving fast and just edged her out just by like a couple of feet. That
just
was
the
really
sheer
good for both
size
ladies.
of her and,
Oh my
and having
gosh.
that experience, having done this so many times, you kind of know how to recover from that. So I definitely had Breezy having the edge on that one, but that was such a fight from Lily Burkhead.
Lily
there.
did great.
She did so smooth, and she didn't falter once throughout that
Oh
whole
my
run.
goodness. But Breezy, I told you, that girl is a horse. That my girl she's so strong. She doesn't get the love and the shine that a lot of other athletes do. But Breezy is very consistent, very strong, and a big value to the Sharks.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about this sprint relay, Taylor. So 2 points separate them, so it's not going to go into gridlock because, as we know, the sprint relay is always worth 3 points. No need to throw a bonus flag either. We don't know how this is going to go, but it's exciting to think about it nonetheless. This is for all the marbles. This is win or loss. This is the championship rerun. This is the Sharks maintaining it, or this is the Lions getting that vengeance that they didn't get last season.
Yeah, the Lions definitely have to finish this. And, oh, actually, if I'm looking at the score, will it? So 18, it may actually go to gridlock.
If the Lions win, it goes into gridlock,
Yeah,
right?
if the Lions win, they go into gridlock
If
unless
the
they
Lions
throw
win
a bonus
and the
flag.
Sharks finish.
Lions, yep,
within the
it will
time
go
gap.
into gridlock. So we may see another gridlock. And the Lions are very strong here. The Sharks, I think, and I was actually analyzing this with them, they have to definitely clean up ooh, they are. The Lions are going all or nothing, so we will, in fact, not see a gridlock. They are just throwing it all in right now.
And there is a bonus flag from the Sharks. They don't want this to be taken away from them, so they are not rerunning it. They said, we got 2 matches this weekend.
Exactly.
Let's get
but
this
the Lions
over
only
with.
got 1.
Yep. So we're gonna see how that goes. So this really is for all the marbles now. There's no possible way that this will be a gridlock, which is a tiebreak.
No, and honestly, I wouldn't want to gridlock this one either. With those thrusters at the end we saw with the Brigade and the Breakers, this is a horrible one to rerun. So I would probably throw it myself to be like, hey, let's just see where the chips fall.
Absolutely, Taylor. You're going to learn about Sprint Relay, everything that we've been talking about. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to find a winner.
The sprint relay is the final race of every match and is worth an extra point for the race win. It is a relay race with 1 player allowed on the grid at a time and 8 elements to perform. Any player can perform on any element, and substitutions can happen at any time, except when a player performs the last rep of an element. In that case, the player must run back to the start line, perform a 4-point touch behind the start line, and sprint through to the finish line, permanently leaving the race. The next player may enter once the previous one has crossed the finish line. The only exception is the distance element that ends at the finish line with no sprint back required. The catch is, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements. The sprint relay is a great balance of strategy to decide which players in what order are the best combination, along with clean and well-executed elements by the players, to lead to the best race outcome for the team. Remember, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements in the sprint relay.
I'm here with the Fort Lauderdale Lions coach and owner. This is coming down to the sprint relay. This is a rerun of the championship match in 2025. This is everything on the line, bonus flag, times. This is everything that your team has been working for. What does this mean to you, and what is your strategy going into this?
There's been a lot of emotion that has gone into this preparation because this one's personal. We knew it was a rematch of the 2025 championships, and we came here to play and give our best effort. Last match, we didn't really get the result that we wanted, and we were ready to come back for this week.
And this sprint relay, I mean, you're planning sprint relays way in advance. You know that this is kind of like the winner, the loser going into this. So talk to me about what your expectations are, I guess, because you know the Sharks. You've gone against the Sharks. You guys are both big teams in the league. Talk to me about how you're, I guess, getting into their mindset for this.
Yeah, so, a lot of us have been around for a really long time. We have a lot of veterans on our team, a lot of people that have been around the grid for a long time. We know what they're good at. We know what we're good at. And luckily, we have someone that is doing all the elements that have been, amazing at doing these things for many years. But so have the Sharks. And honestly, it's going to be a great race, and I'm excited to see it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Melissa, for your time and everything. Good luck on the sprint relay. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, and to close things out, we are going to start off with 25 thrusters at 100 pounds, and then we're going to go into 3 back handsprings into back flip, and then we have 10 dumbbell devil press with 35 pounds, then 1 farmer's carry with 215 pounds in each hand going the length of the grid. That's going to be followed by 15 bar facing burpees, 4 backwards row to support, 7 10-inch deficit handstand push-ups, and then 25 more 100-pound thrusters to close things out.
That's right, Taylor. A lot of, oh my gosh, I can't express how excited I am for this. It looks like, oh no, he was gonna make an announcement. It looks like they're just checking the rings in the spirit of fairness and all that good stuff. But this is a doozy of a sprint relay. We spoke with Melissa. She told us a little bit about what they're expecting from their team. Now the Sharks, what are we expecting from that?
The Sharks, I'm looking for them to make some key changes in the middle for them. So we already saw how Kyra did in the ringer with the 10-inch deficit handstand push-ups. So I'm looking for her to be just as strong and them putting her at the deficit handstand push-ups to go against Megan or even Paula Leas there and moving a guy to either the burpees or the devil's press, which is where they have been a little bit slower in the past at. But if they can make that switch and put maybe even David Blott at the burpees or maybe even another guy at the devil's press, it could cause for them to stay strong in that middle.
That's an interesting thought, Taylor, for sure. Not sure what the strategy is going to be. All I know is that this one is going to hurt one way or the other. I mean, the Sharks are either going to get their first match loss in what is it, 2 or 3 years in the regular season?
Oh my goodness!
Or the Lions are going to get, you know,
a much needed win,
a much needed morale win. You know, win for the actual season and for their schedule that they've had.
Exactly, because this is their only match for this weekend, so they won't have another opportunity until Dallas when they go up against the Breakers, who kind of had a controversial match last time. So we still don't know the outcome of what they're going to decide for that one. So the Lions very desperately need to come out with a win on this one. And again, the Sharks, if they win this one, then this pretty much just about solidifies their position at the top.
Absolutely. We're going to see that play out in just a second as they get that equipment sorted out. Don't go anywhere. We're going to find a winner. Be right back.
I'm out here in Maui, Hawaii. One of the reasons is Nick helped train up my coaches. My team is absolutely crushing it.
We've closed 21 out of 25 no sweat intros with over an 84% closing rate.
We have added 18 people within the last 6 weeks to our membership. Our staff has gained a confidence that I don't think we knew that we had within sales.
We help gym owners who are done doing it alone add $15,000 in their revenue in the next 6 months without ever feeling like a slimy salesperson. Find us at pathfindersalescoach.com.
right, guys, equipment is sorted out. Sorry about that. We're gonna find out winner after this race. I mean, 4 points on the line here. And a win or loss on the line here as well. This is about as big stakes as it gets.
Look, this whole entire season has been crazy. A whole bunch of upsets, a whole bunch of first times, and a whole bunch of having the sprint relay decided out. And this exactly, it feels like deja vu. This is exactly what happened last year's championship. It came down to the sprint relay. We all know that the Sharks was able to pull it out at the end. So now I wonder if that's in the back of the Lions' head. Are they gonna let that happen again, or are they gonna come out the victor?
All I know, I'm ready.
Me too.
Nick Shappy for the Sharks, Taylor Sturgis for the Lions. This is for all the marbles. Nick Shappy going slightly faster here, and of course there is a bonus flag on the line. Nobody wants for this to be rerun. So that means that there's 4 points on the line. Whoever wins this wins the match. And this could be the difference between the Lions getting into the playoffs or not. This is going to be decided right now. The Sharks, of course, having another match tomorrow and being the defending champions and trying as hard as possible to maintain that title this season. If they do lose, it will be their first match loss in over 2 years, which is absolutely insane. Taylor Sturgis finishing off, and they are going to 4-point touch at just about the same time as Taylor Sturgis finishes, same time as Valerie Gunning. We're looking at those backflips, back handsprings from Janet Durant and Chelsea Raineri. Chelsea Raineri finishing first. Janet Durant stumbling a little bit on her last rep before Chelsea Raineri runs to the finish line. This is going to be a close one, friends. Roderick Holloway on the ground doing some devil's presses, and Lily Burkhead doing the same weight on the other side. No matter what the gender is, it is going to be the same weight of 35 pounds per hand.
Yeah, and exactly what I thought so far is that the Sharks, they kind of filled the hole, and because it's usually Valerie Gunning doing the devil's press, this time they got Roderick on it. He's a stronger athlete, but also a longer athlete going up against Lily. And Lily has one more, fell behind just a little bit, but right now the Sharks has the lead.
Pretty decent showing from Lily Burkhead to be able to keep up with Roderick Holloway like that. As Lily Burkhead comes into the finish line, that is going to bring out Ryan DeMatti with the former carry. Blake Kidder on the other side doing the same thing. Ryan DeMatti, look at how he's making up time for his team. That is almost a 5-second makeup in time as Blake Kidder crosses the finish line. And Janine Nicole doing the burpees for the Lions, as it is Sedona Townsend, thank you, for the Sharks on the other side.
This is definitely what the Sharks wanted. They wanted to try to get to the bar before Janine, but Janine is arguably one of the fastest in the league next to Jess Raceman, and she was able to make up a lot of time and put
the Lions with their
back.
first lead of the sprint relay, Taylor. That is right, as Sedona Townsend crosses into the finish line, and Eric Cardona coming out to do those backward rolls to support. Eric Cardona, of course, from the Fort Lauderdale Lions, getting there quickly, but David Blatt, one of the best in the league as well. Eric Cardona finishing, and he's going to do his 4-point touch and run into the finish line. This is a Lions lead, friends. We could possibly be looking at the Sharks' very first match loss in over 2 years. Mega Medeiros coming out, and she is doing those deficit handstand push-ups as Kyra Milligan comes to the other side. This is basically a rerun of the Ringer Point race, Taylor.
Yeah, so Mega Medeiros, this is like redemption for her. She just finished, so she is trying to give much needed time for Briley to finish. So this is going to come down to the sprint relay, and they got Zaffron on the Shark side, and Briley is really going to have to go and pull himself down.
This is Briley Smith's match to lose as he goes to that bar. Zion Zaffron on the other side, 25 thrusters. The Lions have a 2-rep lead going into this. He is not going as fast as I expected he was, Taylor. This could possibly be Zion to make up for the Southwest Florida Sharks. This is anybody's. I can't stress that enough. No hands in the air quite yet. They really need to hurry up as they go into this. Hands in the air for the Lions. Hands in the air for the Sharks. Lions still maintaining a lead. 1 rep remaining. And Briley Smith, 4-point touch for Lauderdale Lions. The sprint relay. The very first win. Very first loss for the Southwest Florida Sharks regular season. Whoa.
Oh, my God.
Take that to Vegas.
Whoa.
Those odds were crazy.
Whoa, that was needed.
Whoa.
And it came bar facing burpees. And so Janine Nicole came back and made up some much-needed ground on Sedona Townsend, which was just enough to get Eric Cardona and Megan Medeiros enough time to have Briley finish out strong for the team.
That was absolutely crazy, Taylor, but unfortunately there is a little ragged flag on the ground.
Gosh.
So we are going to see what has to be reviewed, but that was the Lions there, Taylor. That was the Lions there. Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Unofficially, the very first regular season loss for the Southwest Florida Sharks in years. So we're going to see how that plays out. Let me find out some more information for you guys. Don't go anywhere. There's still not an official winner, guys.
The Sharks have thrown the challenge flag on the rep count of the backward roll to support. They're saying they did an extra rep. On the Lions side, the referee threw a challenge flag saying that the last rep of the backward roll to support should not have counted. There is another referee challenge on the Sharks side about the last rep of the thruster. The last rep of the thruster, we're reviewing whether or not that he actually locked it out.
Guys, that's kind of a lot.
Oh my, there's a lot to unpack here.
There's a lot to unpack here. That means that you can't go anywhere. We still don't have an official winner, but it means that we are stressed.
So, shall I explain what's going on?
Please.
All right. So there's several challenges. The Sharks were, they called a challenge saying that their team did an extra rep. There was a ref's challenge saying that the last rep for the Lions should have not counted. And then there's also another referee challenge saying that the last rep of the Sharks thruster should have not counted. So right now, there could be some overlap where two challenges may cancel each other out, but either way, even if one is upheld, it still may be enough to signify a rerun because the race was that close.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges today for two parts, right? Everybody gets one challenge, and if you win, you get to keep your challenge flag, right?
Yeah.
So it's important that they have a voice because sometimes they do see things that the referees don't see. Second part of that is the referees, of course, we're missing our head referee, which is usually Brandon McMillan. He got stuck after the grounding of the flight's landing because of the employee shortage at Newark Airport, which is unfortunate. But because of that, they're really making sure that they're doing all they can to keep this sport as fair as possible, considering that their voice is, not here.
Yeah, but even then, the sport is so fast that it's easy to miss one or two reps because you're blinking or you're only as fast as the trained eye, and these athletes are so incredible and so elite that sometimes it's very hard to miss a lockout or to miss the full extension there. So which is why we have the challenge flags in the rerun so we can go back, slow it down, and make it as fair as possible.
Absolutely. A lot to be seen here for the rest of this, and we're going to find out either who the winner is or if we're going to rerun it or we're going to find out something. Like, there's no way that we can find out nothing, so please don't go anywhere. Go ahead and take a look at the grid, and we'll be right back.
All right, we have an announcement. On the Lions side, the backward roll support rep was confirmed good. On the Sharks side, the backward roll to support was also confirmed full. In addition, the last rep of the thruster, he was stepping back as he let go, and therefore we should have called him back, and that would be a 4-second penalty. So the ruling on the grid stands.
Wow, 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 wow. The Fort Lauderdale Lions win the match. The Southwest Florida Sharks' first match loss in the regular season. And I can't tell you how long this means the world for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. I just know it, and the Southwest Florida Sharks are really feeling it. Look at those high fives. I mean, I don't mean to stir the pot, but it's like, it's almost like, whatever, dude.
Oh my goodness. That's
wow.
two for two. 2 matches in a row.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that was as exciting. And honestly, I was afraid that they were gonna have to rerun those thrusters again. But that was, so they confirmed that Eric's reps on the backwards roll to support was in fact good. And the call for the Sharks was bad, including the last rep on the thrusters. So the call stands. Lions have a much-needed win, so they're still in the game.
That's right, Taylor. And thank you guys so much for watching at home. We have another